Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? It should be. But welcome everybody. Thought I'll try out doing a little bit of live streaming, something new for 2020. You have to excuse me. Unfortunately, I haven't been feeling too great since the new year, hence the lack of content on the channel. And I'll apologise now if I do cough at any point during this live stream and it's quite loud. I'll try and mute my mic beforehand, but it can be quite difficult at times. Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? It should be. Welcome everybody. And thought I'll try out doing a little bit of live streaming, something new for 2020. I do have. You have to excuse me. Unfortunately, the stream app opened somewhere else. There we go. Right, we'll mute that because we don't want to double the audio. But yeah, I apologise now if I do end up coughing or spluttering at any point. I've just had basically a cold coming out the other side. Usually when I have colds, I end up coughing for a couple of weeks. But I'm hoping that by the time that we actually get to the Daytona 24 hours this weekend that iRacing are doing, I'll be feeling a lot better then, and I won't be coughing as much. But anyway, hope you guys are all good. It's good to see a few of you popping up in the live chat. Do give us a wave, say hello. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to fire away. Basically what I'm hoping to do is just kind of double check the live stream settings, making sure that audio levels and video quality is decent enough for 24 hours, that the picture's all nice and smooth. We're doing a little bit of a practice session here, which I'll jump in and start driving around in a second. But at 7:45 in about 40 minutes time, I'll get into an IMSA race, and we'll do one of those, which should be pretty good, as obviously at Daytona as well. But yeah, going to be driving the Corvette DP. Don't know if any of you guys are planning on doing the Daytona 24. Let us know if you are. But yeah, hopefully I'll potentially maybe end up getting to race amongst some of you guys. Maybe. All depends on the split that we actually end up in. But hopefully the video is nice and clear. It's nice and smooth. You can hear me perfectly fine. You can hear the car perfectly fine as well. Just let us know in the chat if it is all good. And yeah, give us a wave. Give us a hello. Thank you, Johnson. The well wishes. And good to see Sender in here as well. Hello to you. Hope you're doing alright. Hope you're having a good evening. Halfway through the week. 2 more full days to go before we get to the weekend. Thanks, Mark. Hopefully I will feel better soon. Sure, will do. Usually it just takes a couple of weeks for the cough to clear and then back to normal again. Thanks, Cinder. Hopefully the video quality is alright as well. Streaming up to 1440p, hopefully at 60 FPS as well. So hopefully you guys can find something that suits whatever it is that you're watching this on. Hopefully the picture quality is decent enough. Kind of more the smoothness that I'm mainly concerned about. It's my first time I've really properly tried streaming here on my PC. I'm not entirely sure if it's is up to the task. Obviously, it's fine for recording. I'm not entirely sure about streaming, and if it is good for streaming, then I might do this a little bit more often, hopefully, especially with iRacing. Hey Joseph, see you coming in and joining us. Thanks very much, Kurt. Glad to see you getting involved in the hobby. Hopefully you are enjoying it as much as you are watching it. And Pavlo, I don't use Crew Chief because it's one extra thing to run in the background. I used to run it back in the Project Cars 1 days in the league, but I tend not to use it anymore. The iRacing spotter is adequate enough for me in terms of calling out. Excuse me. In terms of calling out the people around me, and in terms of all the other info, you usually get that through the stuff that's on the UI. And I will apologise now for the driving. Not going to be probably quite up to its usual standard, because usually I just focus on the driving and then do the commentary for my videos later on, but obviously we're doing both here at the same time, therefore I lapse in, shall I say, slightly less concentration on the driving, especially when glancing over at the chat as well. But thanks very much, Zander and Johnson, for confirmation on video quality, much appreciated. What are the lap times that people are doing? 37.3 is the fastest. Excuse me. Just moving my mic up and down to basically switch off the mic before I start coughing. Hence the little jitteriness. Obviously I'm using the TrackIR 5 as well. Allows me to do things like this. I can watch cars as I get past them. It's very, very useful. Very immersive as well. The good thing about it is it only really works whilst you're in the car. Excuse me. Yeah, it only really works whilst you're in the car, so when you're in the replay mode, you don't really get it interfering then like you do with people who use VR. Those using full VR and using the headsets when they're looking around and stuff, it moves the cameras around when in the replay mode, but that doesn't happen with TrackIR, so it's not as nausea inducing. Glad he stopped. For a moment I thought he was going to come back across on track. Let's see if we can actually get a somewhat reasonable lap time in, because at the moment just kind of plodding around. Multitask is not too bad. Depends what the two things or multiple things that you're actually doing. Talking and driving is not too bad, but obviously it's a lot easier when you're just focusing on one. That'll be cool, Mark. I haven't been to the 24 hours myself, no, but some of the people who I'm going to be racing with this weekend in the iRacing 24 hours have been. They've done it the last couple of years. I don't think anyone in the group is doing it this year, or at least there isn't a group effort going. There may be one or two people just kind of going along. They live locally, but there's not an organised group. But no, I haven't been. It's one on the list, one I want to do. Just haven't had the funds to hop over to the other side of the pond to do it myself. Done Le Mans, done Abu Dhabi for the F1, and Monaco for the F1 as well. Silverstone for the F1, Silverstone for WEC. Blancpain at both Silverstone and also the Nürburgring. I haven't done the Nürburgring 24 hours. So I've done a few good events around various places, but I haven't done Daytona. Certainly on the It's only on the hit list, as is Sebring 12 Hours. This year I'm hoping to, I say hoping to, should be going to Circuit of the Americas for the F1 at the end of October. Which will be very cool, just kind of going with myself and the girlfriend. We're doing a couple of weeks around Texas as well. Be absolutely wicked. Really looking forward to that. And yeah, Joseph, it's quite tricky. But I seem to manage it alright most of the time.
You got a TrackIR on the left.
Slowly getting faster. But we're kind of past the point of the good laps coming out of the tyres. The tyres drop off fairly quick in the DP. I'm driving it pretty badly at the moment as well. Hey Rob, how's it going? Got another DP sat right behind me as well. Excuse me. Yeah, hopefully this cough will be gone for the actual 24 hours. So I don't have to worry about coughing down the microphone quite as much. It's not a good bus stop. On the accelerator too early and just understeered for the exit. Ran out too wide. See if we can get a somewhat decent nap in.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Slowing too much. Ooh, pardon me. Yeah, slowing too much for the horseshoe there. Now into the western horseshoe. We're locking up a little bit under braking. Not quite getting into the apex. Getting close, but not close enough. Better run there through turn 6 than previous fastest lap. So there's time to be gained at various different spots. Just the tyres aren't quite there for me as of yet. Maybe able to get this 10th or so coming through the bus stop. Hopefully, if we get a decent run coming in, been gaining a little bit of time there. Just need to get a decent run coming off, and was okay. We gained a little bit of time. We're pretty much level pegging midway through the bus stop, but wasn't quite as early on the accelerator coming out the exit. But now that the tyres are up to pressure, less rolling resistance, therefore a little bit faster on the banking. And that's a difficult one to say, Pavlo. Entirely depends on what it is exactly that you're looking for. Let's say ACC is probably the best sim for GT3s, probably the most accurate. Stop there for the moment. Yeah, ACC probably the most accurate for the GT3 cars. iRacing probably has the most accurate tracks, but there's a lot of funny things with it. That makes it not quite as realistic as it should be, but the quality of racing is quite a bit above most other sims. It's basically near enough every public race is kind of almost league race standard, but you do still get quite a few crashes depending on the depending on the series that you enter and the the driving ability of those people. Kind of want to be somewhere in the middle in terms of driving ability. You want to be don't want to be down in the lower splits because that's where a lot of the kind of the slower guys, less experienced people tend to be. But you don't want to be sometimes it's good to be right on the top split, but when you've got really high strength of field, you get some of the kind of more arrogant drivers coming out who are a lot more forceful and yeah, kind of don't really care about you being alongside some situations. It's kind of hit and miss. And then Project Cars 2's got all the content, great variety of cars, tracks. It's also got the great weather as well. Don't really play too much R Factor. That's the other thing. I'm actually going to go straight on here at the bus stop. Excuse me, with the other people coming on up behind and past. And I don't really play GT Sport, Rob. So I can't really comment on that. I did get GT Sport, funnily enough, for Christmas, and I tried it with a pad. Wasn't really a fan with it on the pad from the 15-20 minutes that I actually tried it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it's like on a wheel when I actually get around to trying it at some point. There we go, very nicely done. Into the pit box. There we go. Thanks very much. Cheers. There is a new Project Cars game on the way. Try braking right at the cone at turn 1. You mean this green cone here, or these cones? Yeah, that's kind of where I'm braking anyway. I'm braking at the this line here. That's basically my braking point, which is kind of in line with that green cone. Assuming that's the green cone that you're talking about. Do kind of have to drive this DP in a very particular way with the lack of downforce. Yeah, you've pretty much nailed it there, Kurt, with that opinion. It's pretty much what I think as well, although I haven't really done much R Factor 2, if at all, so I can't really comment on it there, but various different sims have their own strengths. There's some things that they do better than others. There's some things that are off in each of the various sims. I'm very much looking forward to Automobilista 2 and seeing what Reza have done with that, because obviously they've been working alongside Slightly Mad Studios, kind of. I mean, they've got the Madness engine, and being an SMS dev, do see the communication between our studio and their studio, and obviously we're telling them or giving them pointers of how the engine works and everything else like that, answering their questions, and some of the stuff that we've learnt since Project Cars 2 and have fixed, we've fixed for the next game. We have let them know about as well, so hopefully that stuff's getting put into Automobilista 2, so I'm hoping it's going to be a very, very, very good driving experience. I had a lot of praise for the first game in terms of its driving, so very excited to see what Breeze to do with that. And Rob, you're saying the red cones, that's too late for the DP. this DP anyway. There's a very particular driving style that I have to adopt for this car and the setup that we have for it here. Very much the slower you go, the faster you go. Excuse me again. Oh, I'm missing braking. Oh, I'm not braking properly anyway. Around the outside of this guy is quite slow there.
Go right.
What are those two GT3s? Well, actually, one's a GT8. The other one was a GT3. Don't know what those two are doing. I'd say the Ferrari probably misjudged the speed going in. Yeah, I can understand that, Pablo. The kind of the atmosphere and the feeling that you get of just doing the races in iRacing. Very much agree there. You kind of struggle to get that in normal public races in other games. Unless you're doing like some league racing or something like that. I'd say there's stuff that iRacing does better than Project Cars 2, but there's a number of things that Project Cars 2 does better than iRacing as well. But then again, it also does depend on the car. There are some cars that are more accurate than others in Project Cars 2. Just got more data off the teams, or the default setups are more accurate to their real life counterparts. Seem to be doing pretty good in this lap. Get us down into the 37s. We can hold it together through the bus stop. That was an alright run going through. Probably should have just picked up the throttle once and stuck with it, rather than kind of on-off sort of motion. You can see the difference in the rolling resistance in the tyres with the tyre pressures. Rear end sliding a little bit there. Time 1. Hopefully this GT3 that's up ahead won't hold us up too much. Coming into the bus stop, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch him before then, but we shall see. And yeah, the braking in this car is a little bit different to the LMP2 cars. I probably would use a similar sort of spot in Project Cars 2, but brakes in this aren't as effective. Can't get as hard on the brakes at the initial application as hard as I'd like to, or as hard as you can in other sims. You have to be a lot more aggressive with your initial input, and also the actual amount that you end up applying as well. Hey, Joss. I guess you could say I inadvertently inspired you to get a wheel and get good at racing sims. And as far as I know, we haven't talked directly and haven't specifically said, I will get good. But it's very much appreciated that, yeah, do kind of help and inspire other people to get more involved with sim racing, try to improve themselves. Kind of what the channel's all about, really. Something that I've always wanted to do from day one when I very first started the channel was help people out and encourage them to practice, improve their skills, get faster and enjoy sim racing more. And Martin, Bentley Speed 8, I haven't really driven it too much or enough to get an opinion. Excuse me. I mean, I have driven it a bit, but it's kind of hard to get an idea or understanding of what that car would have been like to drive in the real world, because there's kind of in that funny sort of in between where tyre tech was advancing quite a lot, downforce theories and stuff were advancing, and yeah, the cars were very quick as well, so it's kind of hard to get a reference and an understanding of how quick or what the car would have been like to drive in the real world. If you were to make that real world comparison, if you were to just purely base it off fun factor of driving the car, yeah, it's pretty fun. Plenty of speed, quite a lot of grip. Quite a good fun one to enjoy, although it's got a bit of a weird steering wheel. Top part of it is extremely thin. It looks a little bit odd. Not too sure if I'm a fan of it, but otherwise it is a very, very cool car. What time is it? 1:30. We have about 15 minutes until the IMSA race starts, which I'm planning on doing. See what I'm like in comparison to the other DPs and kind of get used to the traffic. Justin's gone and done a 36.9. That'll probably be a quali run though. There's using race fuel. But thanks very much for tuning in, guys. This is very much appreciated. It's good to see there's a good handful of you around asking questions. It's good fun interacting with you guys and getting to know you a little bit more, because obviously, although I do the videos on the channel, it's kind of very much a sort of one-way sort of sided communication avenue. Kind of talking to you guys, you don't really get too much of a chance to talk back. Obviously you got the comments there, which I know a number of you do ask questions and leave comments, which is all very much appreciated, and I do read them, enjoy interacting with them and you guys for the most part. But obviously live streaming is facilitates this more immediate interaction. It's very cool, something new for me, and like I said, hopefully if all the streaming stuff goes well this evening and goes well over the weekend with the 24, then I might start streaming the iRacing races on YouTube rather than recording them. And then of course pop them up to the publish them live on, or publish them, shall I say, to the channel as well afterwards. And yes, Bruno, there's plenty of left turns here. Hi Peter, welcome to the live stream. Thanks very much for popping in. And yeah, it's this is quite a rare occurrence going live, but hopefully it'll become a more regular occurrence. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. did that car go? There was a car coming through the pit lane, but it seemed to disappear. And indeed, this is Daytona, yeah. Practicing for the iRacing Daytona 24-hour. Is this weekend. Hoping to live stream it. Race should start at 1:30 UK time in the afternoon. Going to be doing it with the geodesic racing guys and 3 other drivers. Not entirely sure what stints I'll be doing as of yet, but hopefully find that out in the next couple of days, so I can let you guys know as to when I'll actually be driving and when I'll be spotting. Certainly be up for the first 10 to 12 hours, entirely depends on when my last stint is going into the night. There's a couple of the guys who I've been driving with only really race from about midnight 1 AM UK time onwards, so that kind of works out quite nicely for 2 of us in the team. So obviously it then allows us to focus on getting a bit more sleep during the night as they chop and change between those 2 drivers doing the stints. And yeah, dubs, I do need to stream more often. Hopefully this is, as I said, something that I will be doing more often. Hopefully anyway. I'm really struggling coming into the Western Horseshoe here. Braking. Probably because I'm braking too late. Oh, car bouncing all over the place. Martin, get good at it. Play Project Cars 2 more often. A lot of really awesome stuff in there, in that game. A lot of great content, great combinations. Oh, that's a wall. They're really nip past this guy into turn 1. 8:35. 10 minutes. We'll probably do a couple more laps and then we'll jump out and get ourselves signed up for the IMSA race and actually get you guys a race here. That'll be more entertaining than me just circulating around around the track. See how close we get to this BMW before the bus stop chicane. Probably not close enough to make the pass, but we shall see. Kind of useful practice, really. Ready for kind of traffic management and seeing where the EP really closes up and catches with the other cars. Terrible run through the bus stop. Way too tight on the inside. Practice coming into the pits here. Near enough perfect. Find where my lollipop man is. He is down there. Quite nicely in the box. Smashing. Right. Let's exit out of that session then. And let's get ourselves signed up to the IMSA race. That's at 8:45. Bear with me for a second whilst I get myself signed up. I may actually take this opportunity to go run to the loo as well. For the race starts. By 342 people signed up, man, a lot. See, everyone else is kind of doing the same thing of wanting to practice ready for the 24 hours this weekend. Right. Okay, signed up on that. I apologise the fact that I don't have a webcam. That would make these kind of moments a little bit more interesting for you guys, because then you would at least be able to see me. The webcam doesn't seem to be wanting to play ball at the moment for whatever reason, so I shall have to have a think and see if I can get that working ready for the weekend. But in the meantime, unfortunately, you just got to deal with the sweet, subtle tones of my voice. But what I will do now is go to the loo. So bear with me a second. Should be back in a couple of minutes' time. But yeah, sit tight, grab yourself a drink, in fact, one, and then we'll be doing this IMSA race, which should last about 45 minutes to an hour or so. Should be entertaining, rather than me actually just driving around the circuit. It's actually me going to be actually racing. So yeah, do break. I'll be back in a sec. All right, I'm back. It's what 2042, so 3 minutes and then the session will be going up and live. Start connecting to that. Get an IMSA race in here, which hopefully be useful testing in terms of traffic. We've been practicing with the guys who I race with, the geodesic racing guys. I've been practicing with them, and doing the odd kind of public session here and there, so kind of been getting used to the traffic a little bit. But it'd be good to actually do an actual race to kind of see what like all the other DPs are doing. See if I can find anything useful there to bring in setup wise. or potentially lines, but also just getting used to racing in and amongst the DP cars. Hopefully we can have a fairly good race, although I do know that the fuel load for the IMSA race is going to be lighter than what we'll have in the 24-hour, so I fiddle around with stuff there. Fuel load and the ride height, but otherwise should be all good. Good to go. So yeah, how are you guys all doing? What are you guys looking forward to in 2020? Obviously, new Project Cars game. Maybe this year, maybe next year. Who knows? Automobilista 2 coming out this year. I believe it's March. I think it was. Devs are saying that it was their targeted release date. Can't quite remember off the top of my head. No, there's a GTR 3 in the works, but I don't know how far along that is. So I don't know whether that'll be releasing this year or next year. Be interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, DLC for ACC will be coming out. Sure, iRacing will be bringing out some more stuff, more content in the future as well. I'm hoping that they're going to be doing an LMP2 car at some point. I know they've got a GT4 car in the works. I believe they've got 2 on the go. Pretty sure one is the Porsche Cayman GT4, and I think the other, is a Ford Mustang. I've heard a couple of rumblings around of people saying that they had scanned Ford Mustang at one point. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. As of yet. Yes, WC Hypercars. That I'm excited for. Really excited to see what happens there later on this year. Hopefully they'll be good. The Valkyrie is looking sensational. It's going to sound sensational as well. Nice V12. Can't remember how many revs it goes up to, but it's quite a lot. I think it's 11,500. So it's going to be a bit of a screamer. That's going to sound wicked around Le Mans. Down the Mulsanne straights into the Porsche curves. Oh my god, be good. Forward to that. More Dirt Rally 2 content. Yeah, that'll be good. I haven't picked up Dirt Rally 2, mainly because I felt it looked too similar to the first game. It didn't really look like there was enough additions from the first Dirt Rally to pick it up. I picked up WRC8. That was pretty good fun, but I haven't really played that quite as much as I would like. But yeah, I want to play that a little bit more. And if there's more stuff coming to Dirt Rally 2, then may look at getting that at some point in the future, especially if there's content that excites me. Loading into this IMSA session now. New Project Cars. Why would you guess that it's PC only? The last 2 titles have been both PC and console. Makes sense to do PC and console again, would it not? And I haven't been to any WC rounds this season, but I have in the past. I've done Silverstone and I've done Le Mans twice as well. So yeah, went to Le Mans in 2018 and 2016. 2 pretty good years for it. So yeah, I'd like to do more. Just trying to think what other tracks they actually race at. Spa be a good one to go do. Don't do Nürburgring anymore, do they? Bahrain, Fuji, Shanghai. Feel like I'm missing a couple. Sebring. Sebring will be a really good one to do, especially as next year they're doing the double header again. So they got the WC, I believe, on the Friday, and then the Sebring 12-hour on the Saturday. So that'll be wicked to do. Just like to give that a go. A lot of fun. Wow, the track is very, very cold. Good. Like that, right. Top secret OP docs, you're not allowed to see these. So bear with me a second. I'm going to adjust ride heights and everything because obviously changes with the fuel load. On a quali fuel load as well. Hoping that's going to be slow out lap. Should be fine there. That fuel load. Bear with me just a second, guys. Apologise for this. I do have to keep these documents of having the car secret, as these aren't my setups. Are the team setup. Obviously, guys don't want that known. Alright, here we go. Number 19 car.
You have about 5 laps of fuel left.
That makes me think that I'm in possibly the top split. Which worries me slightly. Hello Jesse, welcome to the stream. Glad to see you here. Yeah, get this this out lap nice and slow, just to keep the make sure the fuel load is kept well down. And we have enough to do the 2 flying laps. Also, try and preserve the tyres a little bit as well. A little bit more speed up. Approaching the bus stop. But we want a good run in, a good run coming off of it. Right, here we go. Get this flying lap started. Stay up top here on the on this banking, just to increase the distance to the start-finish line, which will allow us to gain a little bit more speed before we get to the start-finish line itself. Start the lap a little bit quicker. And there is a lot of grip. Very much underdriving the car at the moment. But we'll get one banker lap in. The second one we'll push a little bit more. Go for a quicker lap time. There is a lot of grip in this session. Very interesting. Track's gone orange. Why is the track orange? It looks like lava there as well with the tyre marks. A little bit interesting. Though a kind of cool effect. Obviously be because of the lower sun starting to set. Here we go. First lap was nice and tidy. See what we can do with our second flying lap. I may be quiet on this one. Decent run through the infield, all purple sectors. Hey Adam, welcome to the stream, mate. Glad to see you here. It wasn't quite as smooth and as quick through the bus stop that time round as it was on the previous lap. Ah, shit. We're out of fuel, boys. That was good, wasn't it? That lap was looking brilliant. Well, a lot better than the second one anyway. Well, the first one, should I say.
Chicken flag,
But of course,
flag.
run out of fuel. Joy. Javier, I believe that's how you say your name. Hello. Welcome to the stream, mate. Hopefully I got that right. And I do apologise if I butchered anyone's names. But yeah. Thank you very much for coming in. She'll do that whilst we switch on our race set. Here we go. Yeah. So if I had managed to stick with that lap and didn't run out of fuel, probably could have been on for pole, as I was on for a 36, about 36.3 actually, about half a second up. Oh, that's really frustrating. They're going to be starting from no better than 8th position. Oh god. Sorry, how do I say your name? No, don't unsub. Don't do that. Teach me the ways of how to say your name properly. Don't thumbs it down either. Kurt, I am working on the next Project Cars title, yes. Excuse me. Alright. Where do we grid? Is it the entire lap that we're doing, or is it part of the lap? I think it's just part of the lap. Start down at the bus stop. Correctly. But, we'll leave it for the moment. Ah! Yes. I haven't looked to see how much fuel I'm going to need to take in the pits. I haven't looked to see how many laps other people have been doing and calculating the fuel from there. I may need to do some guesswork, or I may need to get you guys to help me out here, be my race engineer, and calculate the fuel for me. Any of you can double check the if any of you can double check the previous session's results for the actual IMSA races, they look at the 6:45 race, see how many laps they've done. Hopefully we can work out fuel that I'm going to need for the pit stop. Otherwise, it'll be purely guesswork, and I'm either going to underfuel the car or I'm going to overfuel it horribly. And thanks very much, Nick. this race
One left
will
to green.
go
Line
well.
up on the right side. Pit road is
We
closed.
ain't going to need to take tyres. Excuse me. Oh, it's chunks of fuel. Okay. Let's go with 37.9. Go with that. Hopefully that'll be enough for now. I will leave it there. But yeah, this will be an interesting race. Kind of, I'm not really too worried about the result. More just looking for getting the practice of being in and amongst the DP drivers and kind of working with the traffic there. Should be interesting. But looking forward to this. Doesn't actually say how long the race is. Oh, it's early morning rather than evening. Okay, interesting. I thought it was kind of sunset time, but it's actually sunrise. Thanks very much, guys, for the well wishes. Hopefully this does go well. Hopefully there'll be moments where I can talk to you guys and interact during the race. But yeah, there may be times where I do end up going quiet, focusing, especially here at the start.
Get ready, going green.
Hopefully we'll have a good race here. Hopefully it'll be entertaining for you guys.
Car is off.
Seems like we're going
Green, green, green.
near enough straight away. Relatively easy here into turn one.
Stay on the left. Clear.
And that was good. I thought it was going to give me the
Car right.
racing room, but apparently not.
Clear on the right.
Instead we ended up making contact and then almost getting dive bombed into turn two. Fantastic stuff. Close back up on these guys because I don't want to be dropping off the back of them too much, otherwise I'm going to be out of slipstream range. That as well. Shift the relative board up, focus it more on the guys in front and the guys behind. It's only two DPs that are there. Don't need to know about the GTs. This is going to be interesting in the dirty air of the cars in front going through the bus stop. And what that's actually like. The understeer. Actually oversteer, as you see. Oh, excuse me. Jesse, I have done and used VR before, yes. On my setup, I prefer using TrackIR, and I do using VR. VR's
You got it. Slow car on the right.
VR's good if you've got a system that can run it. My system struggles with VR a little bit. It's okay just for driving, but it doesn't work when it comes to video recording. I don't get the frame rate and the performance that I need. So I use TrackIR instead, because there is virtually no performance hit in TrackIR. Because obviously there's quite a big one using VR. So yeah, I do prefer TrackIR over VR currently. Obviously we've had one casualty already in turn one. What we can do about the rest of these guys. Very good run through there, apart from obviously the 1X. No neck pain with TrackIR at all. The little sensor that attaches to the headset is like feather weight light. It's ridiculously light. I don't even feel it there on the headset at all. I only know it's there because there's a wire hanging down from it and connected to the PC. But otherwise, I don't feel the weight of it. Whereas obviously you can tell and feel the weight of a VR headset sat on top of your head. I wish I picked off Barry there in turn 1. Being quite conservative because I was going to run out wide and into the side of him. It seems like a number of the guys up in front are getting a little bit feisty. They're all battling for position. Max, yes. TrackIR is PC only. Or at least as far as I know. Feel free to look it up and correct me if I am wrong. It's made by Natural Point. It's the company who makes the TrackIR. Is also available on Amazon as well, but I'm pretty sure it is a PC only component. That's a turbo run through the bus stop. And all very interesting, quite close. The guys in front. Intrigued to see how this all plays out, especially if drivers are making the odd mistake here and there. There's a couple of teammates in this this race as well, Tony and Barry. Both got the same surname, both running the same livery design as well. Pretty good run through the bus stop, and it looks like he's got a slow down. Freebie, happy with that. Let's try and close on this guy in front now. Whilst also keeping this guy behind as well. Go. I'm having to go the high line, he's on the low line, he's going to get the slipstream with the guys in front as well. Again now. Now we're getting the run. Hey Benson. Welcome, mate.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Not going to work around the outside there, unfortunately. Rear end sliding around a little bit. Tony's trying to work his way back through the field. How are you doing in the 911? Nice. Certainly seems like it's going to be one of the quicker GTEs. Good luck to you and the team that you're driving with. May see you on track, depending if we end up in the same split or not. So keep an eye out for me. Say hi if you are. Turning out to be very useful testing. That's not useful though. Take. Good. Spoke too soon there. That was totally my mistake as well. I lost it on the brakes. Interested to see how much damage I actually picked up from that. But what I was going to say is, obviously we're topping out in 6th gear, so I'm going to need to extend that. Yeah, very much rip. Catching this guy here in front. Car doesn't feel too bad. It feels lighter at the front now. But I'm not entirely sure if I've incurred quite so much damage that it'd be slow as hell on the straights now because of that. I've got some clear air, so let's see what we can do about these guys in front. 9.7, 10 seconds to the guys. Back with the train. Does anyone know the fuel load needed for the DP? That'll be useful information in timing the pit stop just right. And obviously making sure that we've got enough fuel to go to the end as well. Max fuel that you can take, yeah, 57 litres is what we would have started with. 30 for now. 40 25 minutes remaining. Still a long way to go. Can't really pit now. If it did, then I'll probably need a pit again. Thanks, Benson. Good luck to you as well. Let us know how you get on in the 24 this weekend. Hope you enjoy it. Ah, Ferrari 83. That's a familiar name. 35 litres. Thank you. Go 37.9 then in that case. 31.9 in the tank now. Start with 57, don't you? Yeah. When I get to about 20 litres is when I can dive into the pits. Hopefully these guys keep battling each other hard and losing all the time. The thing is, we're not losing tremendous amounts of time to them, despite potential damage. Front. Good. I plan on streaming the whole race, yeah. That is the aim. I'm not too sure if I'm going to be starting the race as of yet, but I'll be either the first or the second driver in the car, one of the two. Just not sure which one yet. Hey Fred, welcome along, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Hope you are doing good. Yeah, Dark Knight iRacing is pretty good. I enjoy it. The racing is a little bit more serious, so you kind of, with the public races that they do, you kind of almost get like a league racing sort of atmosphere. The only problem with iRacing is it's expensive, especially to start out with. $110 to $115 per year, and then each track. The tracks are $15 each, and then the cars are $11. So your first season, if you plan on doing an entire season, even with just one car, can be very expensive once you get out of rookies. So you kind of have to pick your way up through the ladder till you get to the content that you want. So I would highly recommend, if you do it, look and see what would be the cheapest way to get to cars in the race series that you want to be driving in, shall I say. Go from there rather than jumping straight in and then buying all the tracks that you like, buying all the cars that you like, because that will very quickly add up, and the next thing you know, spend $200, $300, $400 worth of content. Once you've paid for the cars and tracks, you get unlimited use of them. You just obviously have to keep renewing your subscription, but you can choose to do either yearly, every 3 months, or every month. Yearly is the cheapest way of doing it. What we have now, 23.9 litres, so another lap or two. We'll dive in and make the pit stop. I don't know why you were trying to squeeze in underneath that. That's how you overtake. Rear end hanging out. See, the other guys are starting to hit the traffic now as well. We're just going to slow them down a little bit, actually through the infield section. Guys going to catch up to me fairly quick. Likely go for the pass again into turn 1. Here he comes. Alright, see if you can actually hold it into turn 1 this time. Oh, we can. Fred is a multi-driver thing. There'll be 4 of us, including myself, driving, so the stints are about 45 minutes in the DP, so we'll be doing about an hour and a half per stint. Be double stinting. But once I know what stints I'll actually be doing, I shall put out a post somewhere, probably either my Discord or my Twitter. So links to those are down in the description if you want to follow me there. Yeah, that'll be a good way of letting you guys know when I'm going to be driving, what is happening when. Alright, let's make a pit stop on this lap as well. But yeah, race will start at 1:30, although do have a half-hour practice session beforehand, so I'll be jumping into that. Probably start streaming at 1 o'clock UK time. Right. Pit in now. Hopefully there isn't too much damage. Excuse me. Hopefully there isn't too much damage. Hopefully we can get that repaired fairly quick. Oh. Oh. Ah. Okay, quite a bit of damage. There's a being done anyway. Fuel is done, and we can't go because it's quite prepared. Follow on Insta. Thank you very much. I don't know if I'll post the schedule there. Might do actually. But yeah, I'll certainly be posting it on Twitter and also my Discord server as well. DPs. The other one there. So they're a couple of laps down. And yeah, they're a very close one. As you can see, I'm kind of almost in the lollipop man. Up just a little bit sooner. But the car is getting serviced, so good with me. It feels like taking an absolute day and age to minute to go. Hopefully we get back out on track before the rest of the DPs come through. Hopefully we can save some of our iRating here. We shall see. One silly little mistake. Big time. I think come out cars still a lap down. Like 4 minutes remaining. Yep, we're gonna have to work our way back through the GTE cars. Do this.
That's it, go!
We've got someone to race. Let's go right there. Right, let's not pause up the pit exit here. You come out ahead of that GT. Good. I'm not too far behind what is now P7. Hunt him down. Get in that slipstream. Get the position off him. Try and save some of this iRating here. Gamer muscle raid. What? Jimmy Bullman raid. What?
Left side, clear.
Surely not. Hello. Hello everyone who's just come in into the chat. Thanks very much for tuning in, it's much appreciated. Oh my god, there's quite a lot of people. a lot of hellos. I don't want to get too distracted from the racing either, but I see live chat scrolling away in the corner of my eye. Thank you very much. So it's come from both Jimmy and also Gaming Muscle. That's awesome. Thank you very much and welcome to everyone tuning in. It's wicked to have you all here. Hope you're all doing good. Hope a number of you guys are doing the Daytona 24 this weekend. Let us know if you are. Hopefully you guys enjoy this this little bit of practice that I'm doing this evening. And Gary, I'm going to try not to crash. I've already done it once this race. I don't want to do it again. Love it catching Benjamin in front, which is good. Get past this this Ford in a timely and appropriate manner. That was not it. Not quite close enough. Yellow flag. Looks like it's mostly cleared. Did not like that oversteer. Thanks very much, Nick. Glad you enjoyed the Insider's Guide series. Oh, this is awesome that so many of you tuned in. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much to Gamer Muscle for raiding. Shout out to him. And of course, Jimmy Broadbent as well. The king of sim racing, shall we say. Or YouTube sim racing. Doing some awesome stuff. But yeah, very much appreciated that all you guys are tuning in. It's awesome to see you all here. Both me and Benjamin making a mistake there. This is the Corvette C7 DP. It's in the DP class, which will be the fastest class of car that will be racing in the Daytona, the iRacing Daytona 24-hour. This car doesn't race anymore, apart from kind of more historic meetings and stuff like that. It's heavily outdated. Level 1X. Ideal. And this doesn't have the V7 tyre, no. Still on the V6. Slightly amusing that you liken my live stream to a nightclub. I mean, there's no raving music, no strobe lights, lasers, there's no smoke machines. And unfortunately, there's no women. Unless there's some female sim racers here.
Stay on the right. Clear on the left. The lead is fitting now.
A little tight. Hello. Yeah, very close in the rearview mirror.
The lead is fitting now. Right side. Clear on the right. The lead is fitting now. 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 The lead is fitting now.
Oh my god. Yes, okay. Thank you.
The lead is fitting now.
Foot cam. Unfortunately not Johnny. I do have a webcam. However, it doesn't seem to be playing ball, annoyingly. Which is why it's not switched on. I might try and see if I can get it working ready for the weekend. But making no promises there. Otherwise I have to look into finding other ways, getting the webcam set up and working. It'd be awesome to have a foot cam. Could probably make one work at some point, but I should probably get a face cam first. Alright, here we go. Benjamin, I'm coming for you, mate. I want that 7th position. The race is on. Yeah, Gary, it'll be awesome to have a, well, yeah, it'll be awesome to have both a face cam and also a foot cam so you can see my feet. I don't know why you would want to see my feet unless you have a foot fetish. Or you want to see the pedal inputs. One of the two. Oh, he's almost going. But he didn't. For a second there I thought he was going to go. Very well held by him. Sitting behind for the moment. I'd like it to do him into turn 1 rather than here into the bus stop. That way. Can consolidate the position a little bit more. I just hope that this GT3 car doesn't get involved in some way or another. Alright, here we go. Getting the run now. Going up high. That GT3 has moved up slightly, which is good. It's going to give us a slipstream a little bit more. Up on in and down. There we go. So that's up to next position.
Car on your left. Clear on the left.
Cool. I don't want that BMW out there.
Left side. Clear
That's
on the
why.
left.
Holding me up. Come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go. On our way, work our way through the GT3 field now as well. Don't go for the move into the bus stop. It's not good. Good smooth run through here. Try and defend turn 1, but he's pretty close. I think he may get the run on me here. Or is he just going to sit behind? Please just sit behind, that would be nice. Second gear, please. I'd like to make Jimmy proud. If I can. That sounds a little bit questionable. But yeah, I apologise that I'm probably not being as entertaining as I'd like to be. The chat is moving at a much faster rate than what I can read. Not the quickest of readers, but it's not often that I actually live stream and sim race at the same time. I do live streams from time to time, mainly on the Apex Online Racing YouTube channel, where we cover the AOR Project Cars 2 GT3 League. I do the commentary those races. But other than that, I don't really do all that much live streaming myself. So I apologise if I have missed any of your questions in the chat. I do very much appreciate you being here. It's awesome to see so many people chatting and talking away. Wasn't the cleanest run through first corner there. And it is indeed TrackIR that I am using. You're wondering about the head movements and being able to look around. Kind of gives the same sort of effect as the VR, but not as shaky. But yeah, I can look around, look into the corners, glance over at the wing mirror, for example. Have a look up, down. Notice the fact that I don't have any driver arms. So you get all that sort of stuff, but you get it on the benefit that you're looking at the your actual monitor rather than little screens inside the VR headset. Which is pretty good when you're using. I'm using a 35-inch ultra wide. Links to the specific one are in the description of the live stream. But obviously, if you're using triples, you can use TrackIR with your triple screen as well. So it's very good in that sort of sense. Whereas obviously, VR wouldn't be able to do all that. Get out of it.
Left side. Clear.
I like to hold on to the seventh position, please. I almost said second then. Long way from second. And it's not quite a cap. It's called the Track Clip Pro. It's a little sensor that clips onto the side of your headset, and that is a lot more accurate than the using the cap and the sensor that goes with it. It's a lot more accurate than that method. He's messed up the bus stop there, which is going to help us give us a little bit more breathing room, which is good. But yeah, it does work with infrared. So there's another monitor that sits on the top of the, what should I say, another little sensor that sits on top of the monitor. Kind of looks a bit like a webcam, and the two sensors read each other. That is how it tracks the head movement and correlates it into the game. The only real downside of it using infrared and the method that it does is if you have a very, very bright sunny day and you get a lot of UV light entering your room, it can interfere with the sensors. Just like our good old friend Jimmy. I am a shed dweller as well. I have a log cabin, as it were, out of my parents' back garden, which is me office / man cave. And it's got quite a few windows on it, so quite a lot of sunlight gets in and bounces around, and that can play havoc with the sensors, interfere with the infrared signal, kind of spaz the TrackIR out, so it starts looking around all over the place, but throwing up a blanket or a towel over the windows does the trick. And yeah, basically blocks out enough sunlight for the sensor to work effectively. But that is like the only real major downside of it. I didn't used to have the issue back in my old bedroom. Now that I have and reside in the cabin, it's a bit of an issue in here.
Okay, on the left.
Oh no!
Clear on the right. Car on your left. Still there. Stay on the right. Clear.
This is getting a little bit aggressive now. That was partly my fault. I was wandering slightly towards the outside where he was, but I've noticed that his line has been slightly different to mine. Going into turn 1, he tends to hug in a little bit more on the approach, whereas I go out a little bit wider and then cut back in for the apex. And where I was trying to keep to my line a little bit, take my usual line, shall I say, paths kind of met. Managed to hold on to it there. How long have we got left? 15 more minutes. May have to let him pass at some point and try and come from behind. A phrase that I shouldn't be using. Oh god, here we go. Up behind the GT3 bus stop. We go up. We go past. We go down. GT3, the slipstream. Don't give that other guy the slipstream. Force him to go high as we're going side by side once more. Into turn 1. Hopefully it'll be much cleaner this time. Oh, that was very close to the tyre wall. I saw that he wanted to try and switch back on me, but I'm just trying to defend and stop that from happening. The race was an hour long, Anthony. So we're 45 minutes in. Oh, that's too deep. Guys are starting to struggle a little bit now. Oh no, I've opened up the door, haven't I? Nope, he's gone right dirty. Man. This is turning out to be a pretty good battle. Annoyingly it's for 7th, not a podium spot for the race win. Still, things are starting to get aggressive and he's gone for an illegal move. Ah, he's going for the pits. Excellent. Right, that's relieved all the pressure off. I think the next DP is miles up the road. I don't think we're going to be close enough to do anything there. Yeah. So it's just a case of working through all the GTE cars now. Getting back ahead of them and trying to save some of the iRacing. Thanks very much, Nick. If it wasn't for that mistake, be up there at the head of the field. Certainly had the pace to be on pole, but ran out of fuel in the qualifying session. Stupidly didn't put enough in. They got to this point here on the last lap when I was about half a second to 6/10 up on my first qualifying lap. Started chugging. That would have been me starting from the top 3, which is started from 8th position. We gained a place this race, but still not where I'd like to be, or where I should be. My rig setup, you can find the info about the system specs, the wheel that I use and stuff on my channel's about page. If you go take a look there, you'll see everything there. It's not a fancy rig or anything like that. It is literally just a desk which I mount my wheel to. Unfortunately, I don't have the room in the cabin for a proper rig. Nor do I have the money for it, unfortunately, at the moment. All my money that I can muster up is being saved towards holiday later in the year. Going to Texas for the F1 at Austin Circuit of the Americas, and also doing a bit of a 2-week tour around Texas as well with the girlfriend, so that should be good. And then hopefully early next year, plan is to move out and get a place together. Very exciting. So all my money's going to that rather than sim equipment for the moment. Which, yes, I know to you guys probably be boring. And yeah, good point. There is some information in the description of the live stream as well. Monitor I use, steering wheel and stuff, but a bit more details over on the channel's about page. So go take a look, then come back. Tune in for the rest of the race. If we can catch the leader of GTE, who is where 41 seconds up the road. And I've got, what, 8.5 minutes left. Might be doable. Hopefully McLaren do come back strong this year. It'd be good to see Norris, Sainz up there. Hope they do turn to form. It'd be good if Ferrari can sort out their strategies in races as well. They actually make the... Well, actually, no. No, they can continue being shit. Perhaps strategies that they keep doing the mistakes makes the racing interesting. So obviously they got a very good car. They did have a very good car last season. They just chucked away a whole bunch of results because of their strategies. And that in itself made the races interesting. I imagine Mercedes will probably be strong as ever and solid. And for any of you wondering, I am a Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton fanboy. And my loyalties lie. But do like a lot of other drivers as well. Like Leclerc's awesome, very good young talent. Hopefully Ferrari can kind of harness and focus him a little bit more, and hopefully he'll get a World Championship title in the future. I think Max will probably get one as well. Kind of have mixed feelings towards Max. I think he's a very good driver, very arrogant at times, and personality can irritate me as well. I think he does sometimes have his head up his own arse. But there's other times where he's like spot on and does everything right. And he's a very entertaining driver to watch as well. I didn't see Norris's live stream, no. You need to watch that. Hamilton anti-fan. I see what you're saying. There are times when I find he can be quite ignorant as well. But I think also some people kind of jump on the hate wagon a little bit too quickly. Don't say that. Ah, shit, I have as well. Yeah, I think some people can kind of jump on and attacking him a little bit too much. Sometimes it is warranted, sometimes it does moan too much. But we'll see what he's like this year. Bugger. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough fuel for the rest of the race. 2 laps worth of fuel to go. And it's like right on the limit as well. Got what, 4.5 minutes? Yeah, that's not going to be enough. God damn it! Right. Splash and dash incoming. Sure if 3.8 litres is going to be enough. It'll have to be 7.6. Don't know. Don't need the windshield tear off. Certainly don't need the tyre change as well, so disable them.
Have about 1 lap of fuel left.
You. Ah, that's really funny. Or not really funny, shall I say. That's really annoying. Ran out of fuel in qualifying, ran out of fuel here in the race. Or not enough fuel in the race, I'm not going to run out of fuel. Ryan, you got it wrong. It wasn't 35 litres. Well, it probably was if I was in the draft of all the other guys. Not when I'm on my own. Around the outside of you. Dive on in. Bang on the money for speed limiter line. Hopefully we come out ahead. Benjamin. Fill me up. Yep.
All clear. Punch it.
Oh, the car's twitchy. Excellent, we are ahead of Benjamin by a reasonable margin, which is good. But now we're back further down in the GT field. Well, which is not good. At least we've got enough to go to the end of the race now. More than I actually need. Thank you very much, Sandro. Not quite the result that I wanted. But still, quite a useful session actually. Mainly just using it for practice, just kind of getting used to running in and amongst the DPs, seeing what the draft train is like, especially coming through here in the bus stop. And also just double checking and testing the setup as well, just seeing what kind of pace it has in comparison to the other guys. It certainly seems like it's there, just a couple of small tweaks that I do need to make. So I'll be going to the team with that. And Anthony, I'm running with an ultra wide. I think I missed the first part of your conversation though. But make you think that you need triples or an ultra wide. I'm guessing you're talking in relation to the TrackIR, in which case you don't. Works perfectly fine with a single monitor and a 24-inch monitor that I used previously, which I now use as my second monitor. And the TrackIR work perfectly fine there. Kind of saw what the conversation was about. Gary was asking if you could use his PS4 VR camera with the TrackIR system, which you can't. It's its own system, as it were, so you can't use other devices to replace for it. Although there is a they call it like face TrackIR or no face TrackIR or something like that. It uses a very similar sort of system, but it's a lot cheaper, but I don't know about the reliability and the accuracy of it. With the actual TrackIR system, the response of the head movement is very, very quick. And obviously, parts have been built within a certain standard and look aesthetically pleasing. Whereas some of the cheaper adaptations of the TrackIR system can look quite tacky, and I don't know what they're like in terms of performance, whether their response time is quite as quick, whether the accuracy is as good either. So in some ways paying that a little bit more for the actual TrackIR system could be beneficial in that sense, rather than using kind of a, not necessarily a cheap knockoff, but an adaptation, modified version of it. Here we go, P7 across the line. Turned out to be quite an interesting race in the end, in that middle stint, battling with Benjamin. Ooh, because of the silly crash that I had here in turn 1. Okay, let's go take a look at that actually. Oh, what lap was that on? In lap 7. Here we go. Wasn't contact or anything. Yeah, I just lost the car kind of under braking, and then there's a little bit of damage there, but not a huge amount. See the damage there on the front. Actually, the guy behind's got damage as well. You can see that. Actually, you might not be able to see that because that's probably just off the screen. Yeah, there's the car going. Over rotating. The guy behind me ends up going into the side. Contact with the Left rear tyre. Oh, we're inside each other. Oh, that's his car properly mangled. My car properly mangled as well. Yeah, look at that front. Limp. That side. See all the damage there. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. That's frustrating. Otherwise, that was a pretty good race. Quite enjoyed that one. Thank you very much. Yeah, it was fairly clean and consistent. Lap times were mid 30, yeah, mid to high 37s. There's a few 38s in there. Get the traffic involved as well. But hey ho. Never mind. Still P7. Not too bad. You're probably not going to be able to see all this information. Is probably just off the screen. I'm not recording the full 29:9 aspect ratio. I've changed it, or yeah, recording only 16:9. Do want to quit. Save the setup. I saved the setup. Save the replay. Yeah, let's see if we can get the race results up from that. Pressing all the wrong buttons now. Anthony, the stints are going to be about an hour and a half. We'll be double stinting. Oh, I appeared. Damn, okay. Can I go right back? Yes, I can. Do they have the session results here? They do. Oh, okay, lost 34 iRating. Bit frustrating, but not entirely bad. Could be a lot worse, especially considering where I was previously. Yeah, all the guys I was racing with were bang on my iRating as well. So we could have had some gain. That was unfortunate, but hopefully entertaining for you guys. Just wanted to see the background on the desktop. Here's a McLaren Senna. GTR looks very nice. Jackosaurus Rex. This is the first real time that I streamed on YouTube, especially here on my channel. On the Apex Online Racing YouTube channel, I stream over there for the AOR Project Cars 2 GT3 leagues. Last one of the season was last weekend, so we've got about a 2-month break before we go into the next season. So I stream on there, but I'll be hopefully now, seeing as the stream went fairly well this evening, hopefully streaming a bit more iRacing here on my YouTube. Otherwise, I do various videos as and when I can. I've just been, fortunately, ill up until this point since the new year, basically. Do have a little bit of a lingering cough, but hopefully after next week, once we've got Daytona 24 out the way, I can get back to focusing on doing some YouTube videos, because all my time has basically just gone into practicing for this weekend. So haven't made any videos thus far, but yeah, there will be content going up on the channel, both hopefully more live streams and also some more YouTube videos as well. So feel free to hit that subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on any of that content in the future. It'll be very much appreciated. Obviously, I very much appreciate all you guys coming in and tuning in. Obviously, a big shout out to Jimmy Broadbent and also Gamer Muscle for effectively raiding the stream. That was very, very cool to see, and very much appreciate you guys coming in. Anthony's stints are going to be about 45 minutes for a stint in the DP. We will be double stinting with drivers, so it'll be about an hour and a half that we'll be doing on rotation. There'll be 4 of us, but there'll be only 2 of us present to start with until about midnight UK time, of which the other 2 guys will probably come in and take over from there. So yeah, I'll be doing a fair bit of driving up until that point. I think probably all the driving, and yeah, I will be chucking up the live stream link on both my Twitter and also on my Discord channel. Probably also on my Facebook and my Instagram as well. All those links could be found in the description. It'd be very much appreciated if you could follow there. And yeah, it'll be awesome for all the support and obviously all the support that I've had so far. But thanks very much for tuning in. Hopefully, I shall catch you guys. I may do a stream tomorrow, in fact. Tonight went pretty well, so I might do a couple of the IMSA races tomorrow. See if we can recover a bit of that iRacing back, and yeah, get a little bit more practice in ready before the weekend. So I may try and do the 6:45 IMSA race. If not, definitely the 8:45 UK one. So yeah, obviously if you follow my social media channels, you'll find out when I'm going live with that, as I'll post up on there. But yeah, hope you guys have a good evening. Thanks very much for tuning in. It's really appreciated, guys. Loving all the support, and great to interact with you guys and actually get to talk to some of you as well. But hopefully, until tomorrow night or this weekend, have fun, stay safe, and take care. Bye.